What is up? Beyonce's internet, what's good? It is Sue Ann Robinson, your favorite lawyer at Not Just a Lawyer in the building. I am here. I'm excited to be here. We were on a little bit of a hiatus last week because we had culture work to do, things to do, which we'll talk about in a few, but I'm happy to be here with you guys. I appreciate everyone that's tuned in. I appreciate all my guests. As you know, hit the subscribe button so you can get that ding, ding, ding to your phone. The little text people be sending me like, 30 minutes, so that you know when we're coming on. Super appreciate each of you. We're building it little by little. So even the small growth means a lot to me because, hey, this idea just sprung out of my head. So I appreciate you guys for coming every week. Well, not every week, but for watching. I see that the view time is going up and we're just going to make it better and better every week. So get in here. I have some amazing guests, as I always do, but like tonight, we're really on some vibe out stuff because the end of the week, last week for me was like hectic, crazy, extremely heavy. We had a press conference in DC for the family of Shanquella Robinson, asking for diplomatic intervention in the case because it's been 18 weeks and there have been no arrests. So they actually we made the shade room. We made a lot of news outlets, but you know, for the culture, the shade room is a big deal. So we made the shade room. Shout out to the shade room. Appreciate y'all for highlighting this case, for keeping Shanquella Robinson's name in the media. And thank you to all the supporters of the family. It's greatly appreciated. We have to keep the pressure on. I saw that the Department of State, their press person actually just resigned. So you can play it.
Who killed her? And the only question is the President Biden and the State Department going to do anything about it. It's that simple. And we won't sleep until they do something about it.
And this was that was play it, let play Quilla's remarks too.
Video of them. This journey has been frustrating, the feeling of disheartened to our government. I feel like our government has failed us. Now we got to take extra steps and measurements as far as rallies, as far as press conferences, mailing letters that I feel like we should not have to do. It's been 5 months and something should have been done.
That's right.
My sister was the sweetest person, lovable, business driven, and respectful. She didn't associate herself with trauma. Okay, so I feel like whatever happened or the situation that took place at that film, she was trying to leave and they wasn't trying to let her go.
Thank you, Quill.
So we can. A lot of preparation goes into something like that, mentally, obviously, but of course, you know, for the family, obviously grieving a loved one and then also having to travel to DC in order to essentially beg the government to pay attention to what happened to their sister is unimaginably painful and very difficult. So I'm very honored to represent the family. I'm very proud of Quilla and her mom, Salamandra. They did a great job speaking. A lot of people talk about, and even press, you know, they talk about interviews. Oh, just let's have an interview and let's get the family and let's do this and let's do that. And they forget that these are people who are basically thrust into this situation. You don't choose to do that. So these aren't people who are looking to be in broadcast, natural public speakers. These are everyday people going through a very difficult time that have to answer the call, put their shoulder to the plow, and become spokespersons to find justice for their family member. So huge hug and shout out to Quilla and her mom, Salamandra, the whole Robinson family. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Very proud of you. And we, like Ben said, and when he says it, he means it. Like, we're not sleeping. We don't take no days off. Tomorrow we're firing off a letter to the president, giving them all the information that I got once we were on the ground in Mexico. So there's no excuse to say, we didn't know, we didn't have the information. They're going to have an abundance of information. So, just a week, a heavy end to the week, and then getting into the week, doing all that stuff. So I'm excited to be here to kind of vibe out a little bit, get into some serious stuff, but also just vibe with people that I think are awesome. So first up, we're going to bring in Timothy Welbeck, who is my unofficial co-host. He doesn't know it yet. The man, the myth, the legend, the father, the rapper, the law professor, the social justice advocate, and my friend. Okay.
There we go.
I don't use the term friend lightly. Okay.
Yes,
and my brother in the law, Timothy Welbeck.
It's such a pleasure to join you. Thank you always for these gracious introductions that you give me. I'm gonna have to take you on the road with me.
They be true. It'd be true facts.
I appreciate all of that. It's always a pleasure to be with you.
Well, I appreciate you very much, as you know. And as a special surprise, a special surprise. It's mostly a special surprise to me, but it's going to be a special surprise to all her fans. We have A.B. Burns Tucker in the building. I am legally obsessed. Okay. She's a lawyer in residence. That's what I call law students. I don't call them law students. I don't call them future lawyers. I call them lawyers in residence, especially Black lawyers in residence, because they're already lawyering when you're studying. It's very difficult. Ain't no joke. All they stripes, everything already got them. Okay. Just waiting on the bar to just be like, okay, yeah, stamped in the shoe. So thank you for coming, A.B. Burns.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited. I'm such a fangirl, so I'm like really excited. I'm really excited.
No, you are. We liked it. We're locked in. So let's get into it. First of all, A.B., I have to ask everybody this when they come on: Biggie or Tupac?
I'm from the West Coast. I'm going with Tupac.
Okay.
And that's okay. 2 for Tupac.
And she said it on March 9th too. She said that on March 9th. Yeah.
I know it's the anniversary. I know.
So we don't have a candle to light, but I have some in the bar in the office. I have some Fort Mose, which is a Black curated whiskey. I'm gonna pour some of that out before I leave tonight for Biggie. Okay.
All right.
Let's get into it. The What the Bleep person of the week goes to the lunch lady. I don't know if you guys heard about this. This lunch lady basically groomed one of the students at the school, a 14-year-old student, and then sexually assaulted him in the car. Yeah. So the press pulls up. Okay, we're having a little technical difficulty, so I'll tell you guys. Press pulls up, and after she gets arrested, and she's like smirking, and she looks kind of excited.
Oh, wow.
It's giving no. And I don't know about you guys, and it doesn't matter to me, what she looks like. Sexual abuse of a minor is sexual abuse of a minor, period. Yeah. Whether it's a female student, whether it's a male student, it's a no for me. But I think it's one of those things where she feels like she's too cute to go to jail, or
I feel like these type of individuals always have this like childlike energy almost, right? Like whenever we see a female teacher who has sexually assaulted a male student, they are almost in this like teenage state type of thing where they have disassociated with adulthood. So, I mean, if you're young and immature and disassociated in that manner, of course you're going to be, showing off for the camera because you're not really taking into consideration the consequences of what's about to happen. But the reality is you're a grown up, you're an adult, and that's very much illegal. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I saw the story shortly before we hopped on. I think she's 31 or something along those lines. And so she's certainly of the age and in a position where she should have known better. And Sue Ann, you're exactly right. Regardless of whether the survivor is male or female, it's still a crime and it's still something that should appall all of us. And so I'm glad
Oh,
this
here
woman
she is.
did.
Andy Rostafort, Connecticut.
It was wild.
That's just, it's a no.
Yeah.
That's like, yeah, that's disgusting. And just to take advantage of kids, because that's something that sticks with them, whether male or female, like that type of abuse is going to stick with him, for a long time.
Mhm.
And you ruin people's lives doing stuff like that, just being selfish.
Yep,
hmm
you're right. Okay, off of what the bleep person of the week, my one of my new favorite up and coming actors, Jonathan Majors, is playing Dennis Rodman in like a biopic, which I'm excited about that. When Dennis Rodman actually is a Broward County resident, he had when he was on probation, I don't know if it was the first time or the second time, I was still a state attorney. So he got put on probation in my division.
Wow. I did not know this.
And so I used to see him all the time. Like he would go to Capitol Grill, once he got off probation, we would actually talk sometimes. He opened a nightclub because part of his probation, he had to do rehabilitation, because he had drug charges. And he opened a nightclub called Rodman's Rehab. And Rodman's Rehab was actually kind of lit. Actually, it was kind of lit. But I think Jonathan Majors is going to do a good job. I think, he's been solid. Creed was insane. But Dennis Rodman, what you think, AB? He's he's cute in his own kind of way. He's not conventionally fine, but he's tall, he's in shape in his day,
When he was popular, I was still trying to color in between the lines. No, I'm just kidding. No, but he does have that different swag for that time, right? And I think that's always like appealing when he has a little bit of the bad boy energy, but then like his swag was different and he had money. He just walked around with the big stuff energy all day. So I feel like that's what makes him appealing. But I didn't he marry himself?
He did. Look at that. He sure did. He
did marry himself. Listen, I feel like Dennis Rodman just always had his own path, and then he happened to be able to play basketball. So it was always like, but what? Like, when you have people like, and then they just start playing classical piano out of nowhere, you're like, what? You could play piano? Like, what? Like, that's what I always felt with him. Like, he should have been doing something else, like maybe diplomatic. Wasn't he like friends with was it North Korea?
Yeah, you're right.
Didn't you just try that when Brit was locked up over in Russia and they was like, no, don't go there, leave that alone. Like, so there might be a reason why they told ex-probation Rodman leave it alone. We probably don't want to diplomatic.
He's a pretty diplomatic guy. You know what I mean? Like he's highly intelligent. He is college educated. I think he has like a master's degree. Like he's very smart. It's just, it's that book by its cover thing to me. And it's not like he's eccentric. He's not traditional, but he's very intelligent. So I think Jonathan Majors is going to kill that.
Yeah, he is. He is. Eccentric is absolutely the word I've used to describe Dennis Rodman. And if I read the press release correctly, it's about 48 hours in Las Vegas. And that's surrounding like a legendary story about Dennis Rodman during one of the Bulls championship runs. Like they were in the middle of some pivotal games and he ran to Las Vegas to go and gamble and and engage in debauchery. And he's like, I just need 48 hours. I'll be back. Like, I'll be back in time for the game or whatever. So I think it's going to be incredible. Jonathan Majors is an extraordinary actor. I think he's going to go on to have an iconic career, especially just with the range that he has. He's got the #1 and 2 films in the country right now.
Period.
Come on now, put some respect on the name. And then, But he's also show range too with things like The Last Black Man in San Francisco. So he can do these dramatic presentations. He can do action movies. So I think he'll do an incredible job.
I can't wait. If there's a scene, I don't know if you guys, well, I won't put Timothy in it, but he had his abs out and stuff the other day. So and then in Creed. So I'm just wondering if there's going to be a scene, a no shirt scene. That's more what I'm.
If you're being Dennis Rodman, because Dennis, he was off the chain. So it got to be some.
He had a lot of piercings and a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Sure it's going to be good.
The tattoos, everything.
Yeah.
Yes. So since we're talking about Jonathan Majors and his best friend is Michael B. Jordan, I think they're brothers in acting. I want to say they're peer, they're like, I see you, see me. They're in movies together. Like they're bros, which is cool. So Michael B. Jordan, which I feel like we're talking about. It's not back to back, but Michael B. Jordan was called corny by some lady who used to make fun of him in high school. Yeah. And then
L'Oreal. I used to
L'Oreal.
Yeah.
So what's the energy then? Cause why?
I mean, I don't think L'Oreal. You gotta think he mentioned like, oh, didn't you call me corny in high school? Like, and honestly, he probably was corny in high school, but you're not corny today. And I feel like she gave him his flowers. But L'Oreal is a cool chick. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure, and she kept it cute even. She was like, okay, my bad, but you're not corny today, right? So, I mean, we don't know Michael in high school, but I saw The Wire. I was obsessed with The Wire. So if he was any type of energy, like what he was in The Wire, right? He probably, by high school standards, he probably at that time was a little bit corny. But them are the ones that blow up. I was corny. I was nerdy growing up, and look at me now. They all love me. So,
look at me now. I agree with you.
And, we know each other
100%. I feel like the underlying issue is that nerdy, corny, all those things have negative connotations. And so it's like the kids with like very intricate ideas and that are super intellectual and stuff like that get put down in those, when they're growing. I don't think we should be condoning or saying, let's use corny and nerdy. I feel like we can say eccentric or whatever. And I think the smart girls are the ones who are cuddling up to the nerdy, obviously Black boys with big dreams, because honey, if he went to my high school,
So I hear AB in that, but what I would also say is that, kind of to AB's point, by the time he's in high school, Michael B. Jordan was already a successful actor. He was in The Wire, and I feel like he was in Friday Night Lights, which should have been around that same period of time for him. So if he wasn't in that during high school, it should have been right afterwards. And so if nothing else, that should be something that should have excited his peers and impressed them. But regardless of what it was, the teasing at the time obviously stung Michael B. Jordan, and it's something that stayed with him. And my man had to, let her know, keep that same energy.
That same energy.
And isn't L'Oreal the one that came at Kehlani sideways like a year or two ago?
I'm not fit to do L'Oreal like that. Okay, so she didn't come at Kehlani sideways. All right, we not finna do that. We not finna hate on the morning hustle people right about now. We not doing.
I was just asking questions. I didn't like.
You see how I got look. I'm like right now.
AB sat all the way up. She said that with her chest. She's like, "You're not gonna come at my girl like that."
Okay, came from my esophagus. No, that was an incident, right, where Kehlani was a guest on the show, and the energy in the room was real. It was stiff as grits, for real. But I know, but L'Oreal is also a Capricorn, and I'm a Capricorn, and we tend to be very like straight shooters sometimes, and our sense of humor. We do have like dry sense of humor, right? And like sarcasm. So sometimes we'll say stuff and like we really just be playing and people will really be offended and be like, oh, like my bad. I didn't mean that right there. So I would just say maybe that's what happened. I know I'm making up excuses, but I'm just trying not to.
Listen, you better cape for your friend, because I'm gonna tell you right now, if anybody says anything about you, I'm caping, period. Timothy, that's it. That's what it is.
I appreciate that. And likewise.
I respect that. I respect that. Oh, stand up for your friend. But Michael B. Jordan is fine. Probably was fine in high school, but it's cool. It's all good.
He was.
Okay.
I had a whole crush on him in The Wire, but I also like the corny type. Like, I don't know if you seen my tweet the other day, but I was like, I want my man to be so square. He started cheesing every time you see me in my bonnet. Like,
be in bed by 9 p.m. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. Be and good night. That's yes. Where is he at home or work?
Yes.
That's what, or in these streets.
Call of Duty.
That's it. That's all I want. Okay, we have to talk about the DOJ before we bring our other two guests in. So the Justice Department Civil Rights Division releases a report. Okay. The stunning news from the report is,
she said stunning.
They find illegal, violent, and discriminatory policing in Louisville, Kentucky. Shut up.
You don't say. You don't say.
You
I
mean
where something like that already, but a few people in the streets saying some things like that. I thought it's what they were telling us.
A 2-year investigation, and it found that police routinely used invalid search warrants.
Mm-hmm.
And failed to knock and announce.
Mm-hmm.
They had a pattern in practice of unlawfully discriminating against, wait for it, Black people.
Mm.
Say,
I just don't know what to say anymore. And, Sue Ann, we were talking about this earlier, and it's just like you said, what are we supposed to do with this information? We knew this already. And the Justice Department has done this already. They did this with Baltimore. They did this with Ferguson. And they just confirmed what the people on the ground had already told them. And that's why the people were in the streets. And so the real question is, what are we going to do with this information? So you basically verified what the people were saying and what you're going to do about it.
I think that's the thing. Like, every major police department at this time, right, including Los Angeles, LAPD, NYPD, has had this type of report done on their agency, right, on their department. So the question is, like, what do you do now? Black people have been telling y'all this was an issue for years. So I'm trying to figure out who is stunned, who is surprised, who just got the news, because we've been saying this. And every time we say it, y'all be like, no, but it's good because it's just a few bad apples. No, your whole tree is rotten from the roots and y'all need to pick it up. So now we have just acknowledged that your police department have been acting like overseers. Okay, and asking people for their freedom papers when we not even Jim Crow was supposed to be over with, and y'all still playing games. So y'all the only ones that shocked. Yeah. We not who. What Doja Cat say? Shocked. Shocked.
Right. Listen. If they do one more report, okay. And we don't have no action, I'm gonna be like, hey, y'all, chill out with the reports. Cause we done told y'all, Black people be knowing, like, we know what's going on with us. Okay. Like, Can we get some George Floyd Justice and Policing Act? That's what I like.
Please.
Can we do a report and then have something as a result of the report? That's all I'm saying. Doing the reports, to me, to be honest, is just as bad as the thing we were talking about couple weeks ago, Timothy, where the police department wrapped the car for Black History Month, but still, treating Black people poorly.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
I'm over it. No, I appreciate the reports because, I guess we learned from the Constitution that you need to put stuff in writing in order for it to live forever, right?
That's a fact.
So I appreciate the reports, but I really wish we would put together committees of people who are actually about change, right? And stop gaslighting about what's going to happen with this. So if y'all not firing people, if y'all not replacing, training, if y'all aren't using the budget to maybe hire mental health experts instead of having the police who don't need nothing but a GED to get the job anyway, right? To do the work of professionals, then we don't want to hear it. Go ahead and share it amongst your emails and yourself. But for you to come out on national TV and say what Black people have been telling you for years as if this new information is really a slap in the face, because we've had told you this. Matter of fact, most Black people should be in the footnotes for your citations.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And the footnote should read, we told y'all, or we've been told y'all.
Been told y'all. Because I never want to miss the opportunity to say this. The Broward County Police Union filed a bar complaint against me, okay, because I had a press conference and I said that the criminal justice system fails Black and brown people.
Mm-hmm.
And they was like, no.
Wow.
Okay, that's all I'm
Or
saying.
maybe it doesn't fail them. Maybe it achieves the goal of white supremacy. Maybe we should just be clear about that, because they don't want to hear that we being failed. So let's just let it be known. Your goal of white supremacy and making sure it lasted for generations after generations, it is being accomplished. Now what?
Now
Success.
How do you address that?
For that, let's listen. They're gonna have to figure it out, because if they one more report, they got one more city.
One more.
Okay, guys, I want to bring in my next guest.
Okay, let's do it.
Very excited about this guest. I'm just excited about her in general. I'm a huge fan. Bringing in Miami Tip. Where you at? Author.
Am I here?
Yes, you
TV
are.
personality.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, what's going on?
305 energy.
Yeah.
Big boss energy. Big mom energy. Just,
There you go.
I don't bring people on an adult table just willy-nilly, just, oh, y'all want to pull up. It's only people I really, really with and feel like you're an adult. Period.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sorry that we're not gonna have non-adults on here. We're gonna have to have a separate table or some other type of stream if we want to entertain those folks. So Miami Tips in the building, an adult.
An adult.
Excited to have you here. See, it's sad that we have to state the obvious, but it is what it is. It's a lot of non-adults out here, so that's why we saying it. And we're gonna bring one of my castmates from Ready to Love season 7.
Yeah.
Marcia.
Hey y'all.
What's up?
What's going on?
Oh,
on silent.
What is
Hey, how you doing?
up? Okay, lighting is hitting. It's giving.
Girl, I done rigged up the light because I broke it.
Thank you, Marcia. Oh, Anthony's here. Anthony Martin. He's also on Ready to Love season 7 with me. So I'm happy that he's there in the comments in the building. What's up, Anthony? So because I have Tip here and I have Marcia here, and we're going to talk about a little bit about the show. And before we talk about Tip's book and all that stuff, I need to get everybody's opinion on this story. So Tiger Woods' ex. Tiger Woods people tell her, pack a bag.
Mm-hmm.
We taking you on a vacation. You going on a vacation.
Mm-hmm.
She packs her bag. They change the locks, lock her out the house. They're done. Broke up.
Yeah.
She says she sues his trust for $30 million and says that the non-disclosure agreement that she signed back in 2017 when they started talking is invalid. So she's suing. This is her response to the breakup. She's going to sue him for $30 million. And
The wrong people.
I don't know. To me, that's gangster. Like, oh, pack a bag for a vacation?
Yeah.
Woo! Oh, I forgot to tell you. Hey, hold on. Wait. I'm going to let you guys talk. But the girl, the ex, was managing one of his restaurants. That's how they met. Okay, so what's up? I mean, I know you've been around and you are a celebrity, obviously. How does it go in these celebrity relationships when you ready to break up? Like, this what you do? You tell them pack a bag?
That's what happens when you date outside of your Because obviously something was already going on for him to feel like he had to go through all that lying to her and not just telling her straight up, I don't do with you no more. So obviously it was some stuff going on, but for her to want to do, like, you have a non-disclosure. But I seen an article where it said that she was suing because it's invalid because, like, for sexual misconduct or like raping or something like that. Did y'all see that?
Wow. Okay.
So I feel like y'all been together in 2017 and you're just now coming out with all that stuff. I feel like the lawsuit is invalid anyways. But stuff like that happens date outside your race. They want to whole empire.
He said the palm colored people would get you messed up.
Yeah, listen.
Dracula.
Well, y'all know I had a palm colored husband. So we're not never gonna talk about it, okay? But he's an ex. Marcia, what you think?
I think I'm dating the wrong people. So she's suing a man for $30 million just from
$30
dating
million.
him?
Yes, they broke up.
Yeah.
You dating the wrong people.
I never in no situation. I never heard of this. Like, welcome to America where you could sue your ex-boyfriend. $30 million?
He got it. I mean,
he does have it.
$30 million for.
That's what I'm trying to figure out, Sue-Ann. What is the basis of the claim? Where
she's suing the trust and basically saying it's an improper eviction because the NDA, in addition to some other things, supposedly says that if they break up, she can remain in the home for 5 more years.
Oh, I see.
Still dating the wrong guy.
But still, is the benefit of her staying in a home for 5 years worth $30 million? So, like,
yeah, I mean, listen, you know wherever Tiger Woods live at. You know.
I see.
She went from the restaurant manager.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying, man. God, I see what you're doing for people.
Right. And please, Lord. I'm here blessing them. I've been obedient. I've been out here fasting, drinking water, staying out of other people's business.
Minding your business.
Like,
she said, drinking water and minding her business. She want her $30 million lawsuit too.
That's what Glorilla said. Glorilla said that we're supposed to fast, something like that. Like she fasted, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what she said.
Yeah, fasting.
Yeah, that's what she said.
My grandmama done been fasting. Them people been fasting. That's nothing new.
Yeah. This is also true.
It's not because I ain't the one with $30 million boyfriends to break up with. So I'm just out here hungry and disciplined.
You want
like,
would you want a $30 million Tiger Woods breakup for real though? For real?
Girl, what are you talking about?
If I'm going to break up with somebody, I want my $30 million. If I'm going to get a heart and my heart broken and that's an option, now I'm not the type to say I'm going into it for that. But if that is, you owe me some recourse, some legal recourse at that, because you out here breaking contracts and stuff like that, run me my money. Right. I done broke up with people and I left in debt.
Yeah. You know that was a possibility. Somebody hit her up and told her that was a possibility.
That's what I'm saying.
Hit her up and told her that was a possibility. I'm just saying.
Because we don't think like that. Like that is like, we don't.
Yeah, like, I mean, they're moving in just different stratospheres because Mariah Carey did. So she sued her ex for an inconvenience fee for wasting her time. I think it was for $50 million.
And don't worry, Harvey got like $1 million NDA when you date her. Like we are out here dating wrong. We dating wrong. We out here living off the Disney Channel, just all this like that, following the Bible, and we need to be out here.
I don't know. Because I feel like Tip knows what be going on with the celebrities. Yeah. So I see that Marcy and AB are voting for crying in the Rolls Royce.
Yo.
If you gonna cry,
listen.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Lord.
Might as well be in a Rolls Royce. That's what y'all saying.
If you have a choice.
Okay.
If you have a choice to cry in a Rolls Royce or a Honda Civic, which one are you going to choose?
Right.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. Now, is people out here who that is their intent? They go in there with the intent of knowing, like, if we break up, then I'm finna get this bag. Let me count. Let me keep my receipts. All of that kind of stuff. Should have been starting a business. You wouldn't have to worry about this lawsuit. But anyways, just doing all of that, and they go in there with the intent of that because they know it's either you about to get blasted in the public, which don't nobody got time for their publicists be trying to clean that up for them, or just run me this money and I'm gonna go away semi-quietly.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Timothy.
I'm just confused, like all around. I mean, I truly am just from jump. So like, I mean, we're at the adult table. Have we established why communicate like an adult and say, I no longer want to be in a relationship with you. Let's find a way to dissolve this relationship. But like to have her thinking that she's going on a trip and then to evict her. That's wild.
Timothy, he's gonna bring it back. He's gonna bring it back. And that's why he's here. That is a good point. That is a good point.
I don't understand.
Crazy, and she already knew her.
Yeah,
Maybe she already had some lawyer friends that told her rights, and she was standing her ground. He had to get creative. Sending her on the trip was real creative.
Yeah, Marcy, I think you're right there. I think he was afraid of her to do something like that, to deceive her and to get her out the home. But I mean,
going on a vacation.
Because his ex-wife, when she found out about his cheating, she chased him with the golf clubs, and then he was driving away from her and got into the crash, and that's how he hurt his leg. So maybe he got another one of them.
Crazy.
They not crazy.
Maybe it's him. Maybe it's him.
Crazy.
He is the common denominator.
He got a hole in his pocket.
He's making bad choices.
Yeah, he is. Yes.
Tiger, if you're watching, get you a sis. By the way, that's what will change your life. But any sister, let me tell you, you have a black woman in your corner.
Please.
I don't want to be.
Yes. You are winning in life if that is true for you.
You will be good.
Yeah.
And just as loyal as we want to be, some play the trick on our brain.
$30 will be loyal. Like you ain't even got to have no 30 million.
30,000.
We hanging in there. We love you.
Yeah.
Not care. We don't.
Yeah.
We don't. They be dragging us too much on that. We don't care how much what you got. If that's your little stink, that's it. We don't. It's cool. Honda Civic.
Yeah.
Oh, Michelle Obama talking about she was dating Barack with a hole in the ar. Shit. That's not me.
It's my blessing.
He chased her for a minute before all that happened, though. He put in that work. He put in that work before she got up in that little bucket. He sure did. So don't just be out here, ladies, thinking, "Oh, this might be that ex-Obama." No, still have some.
But the other thing too with Obama too is like his trajectory was not the same as the average person on the street either. You know, he went from Occidental to Columbia. They're at Harvard Law. He's at a prestigious law firm with her.
So the hole in the car is temporary. He was broke. He was always late. He was broke. Okay, he was.
But he was at law school.
But that was a temporary condition for him. That's what I'm trying to say.
They were, but I'm saying everybody. But okay, I'm telling you. Okay, it's just a lot of false masks out here. Okay, I'm in law school. I'm be the one to tell you right about now. There's some cool ones in law school. Oh yeah, he in law school. He ain't worth 10 cents. So just have some discernment.
Discernment.
When you out here being loyal, riding around with your stank and him Honda Civic. That's all I'm saying.
Tip, have you rode around with someone in a Honda Civic? Because I know you have a lot of stories. You have a book out, which I have. Which I've had for like a year.
You did.
And I was like one of the first ones that was like, get me my book. So I don't want to do any spoilers, but do you have a story about thinking somebody was, on the level and then they was really like, just didn't have it?
No, I actually had the opposite where I met someone who was driving in like a little Honda, but he really, and I thought he didn't really have it like that, but really that was just his little decoy car during the daytime, and he really had it. So my story is a little bit of the opposite, and I was blessed for that, I guess, if you want to call it a blessing. But I
Yes.
think I think it wasn't all that, but it really was. So my story.
So what are we to look for? You know, what are ladies to look for, like AB and Marcia, that are like, let me get my $30 million. Like, how do you?
You did not say that.
You playing with me like that's what that's not what I
Okay, you said if you had a choice.
I said we all deserve that, Lord. The exit the relationship.
I agree.
I'm
I'm trying to get us some tips from Tip.
We just gonna clear that up because you keep throwing us over there.
I know. I feel like, dang. I mean,
I too would prefer to cry in a Bentley. Okay. I mean, I could cry in my own, or I could cry in yours. You know what I mean? Like, it's fine. But how do you know who is who? Like, is you looking at shoes? Is you listening to what they're saying? Like, how do you know?
I think that's hard.
You said it's hard.
It's hard because like men nowadays, they can fake it so well. Like it's hard. That's why I'm single, because look, I was dating like, you know, men that are successful.
The audio's going in and out.
It was driving me crazy. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I can. Now I start dating men who regular, normal, date 9 to 5. Now I get with them. They driving me crazy. Like it's just.
She doesn't know. Tip. Your audio.
I can hear her.
I can hear her.
Hello.
She was saying that she was
talk so we can hear. Test it. Nope. We can't hear her.
Y'all can't hear.
It's still going in and out.
Yeah.
Can you hear us?
I can hear you guys.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't know why. Do you have something on your mic? And it was getting. She looked like she was really telling us what to do.
I heard everything.
We need this information.
You can't hear me, Sue Ann?
Okay, she's gonna get the Illuminati. Don't want us to know what to do, and you know what? Okay, that's fine. We're gonna bring Tip back, and we are gonna find out this info this week, Marcia. I don't know if Anthony is here still or Mercedes, but we had the exes. It wasn't this week; it was last week. I didn't get to watch it in real time because I was working. So, but I know we had the exes episode. Okay. We're going to go around. What do you think about your ex meeting your next? Timothy.
Okay. I really think you can hear me?
No.
You can. Yeah. So, I mean, on his face, I think
maybe
it's
us.
not. Okay. I can hear me.
Yeah, you're going.
Hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
All the audio is dropping. Check and see if the if in the comments we can be heard.
Yeah, I hear you, Sue Ann, and I hear everyone else.
Yeah, I hear everybody too.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, you're back. So, does your ex, do you think it's healthy or serves any purpose for your ex to meet your next?
I think it depends on the nature of your relationship with your ex. So you look like you can't hear me.
It's trailing. I don't know what's going on today.
Do you want to step out and come back?
It's not you, it's her. Because we all can hear you.
Okay.
Let me change.
Hold on, we're gonna change something. We're having a technical difficulty.
Okay. So we'll pause.
You know, Andre is over here working very hard to get it sorted out.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. We shall see if we can get it fixed. My ex's date, I feel like, was very simple. I don't think he had a lot of drama. It was Anthony and Blake. I had my ex Paul, who was actually my boyfriend in law school, one of the best boyfriends ever in law school, because law school is very difficult and hard. And he made sure that I ate and I went and I worked out and I did my homework. Like, he was a boyfriend that was like, girl, I know you have a reading assignment to do. So, and I see you over here sleeping or watching TV. get it together. So, and he would bring me lunch to the law school. Great human being, great person, good boyfriend. Transitions, life changes. We didn't end up, obviously he wasn't my forever person, but we're still friends, very good friends. He has a beautiful family, beautiful wife, beautiful kids. And he's a great, great guy. So I appreciated him very much for coming because I do value his opinion and he's known me a long time. So he gave his opinion. And in real life, he loved Anthony for me. Well, he said he was okay with both, but he said he felt like Anthony would permit me to be in the spotlight. And I kind of was like, okay, I hear what you're saying, but I feel like at this stage in my career and at my big age, I actually am cool with not being in charge of shit. So that's kind of why I was like, okay, spotlight is cool. Spotlight is cool, but I'm okay not doing that. Like if you want to go ahead and be the main character energy, that's fine too. Because a lot of people assume, is the audio back? Because I'm just talking because I'm waiting for the audio. Okay.
This is all fascinating on my end, so I enjoyed hearing it, and I hadn't seen the episode. So
Can you hear everyone?
Okay, he's gonna make us leave and come back.
Okay, I'll leave and come back.
No, wait, no. I'm gonna leave and come back.
Oh, okay.
I was about to click the button.
I was this close to clicking the button.
Right, too.
I'm like, we just gonna hold it down until they get back.
Yeah,
So
we're gonna make it do what it do.
that's all we can do. We're gonna work it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can try. That is interesting for your ex to meet your next person.
That is so stupid. Like it's for TV. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
It gotta be for TV. You gotta do something to bring
So
the
is that
love.
what the show is based around?
Huh?
Is that what the show is based around?
It seems
No,
like that episode was based around that.
Oh, that episode.
And then that was one of the assignments for you to bring, like once you start like connecting with whoever on the show, they wanted you to introduce that guy to one of your exes.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, I can hear everybody now. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Okay, so Timothy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll explain. So the show Ready to Love, if you don't watch it, it's a dating show. They bring what did we start with? 16 singles, and then you kind of like make your connections and stuff. And then 1 week the women have the power to vote somebody who's not ready to love to go home, and then the next week the men get to vote a woman who's not ready to love. So the power goes back and forth. And then the idea is to try to mingle and meet everybody in and make your kind of decisions on who you're connecting with. And then there's no prize money. There's no actual prize at the end of the show. It's just if you find a connection, then you win.
Well, the love is the prize.
The love is the prize. There you go. And so this week, nephew Tommy is the host, and he told all of us we had to bring an ex in to meet with our top connections. And so that's what I was explaining to you guys, that I had the date with Anthony, who's in the comments, and Blake, and my ex was cool, and it was my ex from law school. But I agree that I don't think that's a real life scenario unless you have kids. When you have kiddos, which I do, at some point I feel like you have to have some sort of, not necessarily to help you choose per se, but you do have them, obviously it's somebody that's going to be interacting with your kids. So the adult thing to do is to at some point have them meet, but not necessarily to give their input. That's unrealistic. What do you think, Timothy?
I tend to agree with that. Just on a general level, I don't really have a lot of connections to my exes. I'm not in regular contacts with people I was romantically involved with before I got married, but partly too, it was a long time ago. This year is 15 years for me and my wife, and we dated for 2 years before that. So, I mean, anybody who's like an ex of mine, we're talking about at least like 18 years ago, thereabouts. So I'm just not in regular contact with them. And even at the time that me and my wife started dating, I wasn't in regular contact with them. So we just kind of went our separate ways, and just kind of, and just, that's just kind of, it was what it was. And so periodically, you know, we might bump into each other or get an update about what's going on in their life here and there. But to my knowledge, I don't think my wife has met any of my exes. I have met like one or two of hers just because like they were friendly afterwards. Things like that. I mean, like they're friends.
If you see Timothy's wife, then you know.
Yeah, my wife is a lovely human being.
They try to hang around. Timothy was like, cut it, cut it.
Yeah, I mean, and me and my wife, we disagreed with that early on when we were talking about it, just this particular topic. And I told her that at least the people that I knew who had successful marriages weren't in regular contact with their exes. And so I just felt like there was too much room for ambiguity and things like that. And so, or just potential for dysfunction. I mean, my opinion on that has kind of evolved over time because I've seen, I guess it worked for some people, but for me, it just wasn't something that was happening in my life. And so
for Timothy in his house.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's different. Yeah. And I do think it's different. Like if you have been previously married or especially if you have children, because you're co-parenting with someone. So if you are building a bond with someone new, they should meet your co-parent at some point because like that person is a consistent part of your life. But if it's someone that y'all had a romantic connection to, it fizzled out and y'all aren't really involved with each other anymore, I don't really see the need for it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What do you think, AB? What's your opinion on the next meeting the ex?
Yeah, I guess I think it just depends on the relationship. Like for me and my exes, so speaking to kids,
baby
you hear him talking from mama. So my ex got to meet my next, right?
He got to meet him. Okay,
but me and my ex are cool. Like me and my son's dad, we're really cool. We have a good relationship. Like we're really good friends. So like we really co-parent in like a familiar type of way, like as family. And my baby waking up, sorry. And so like I'm cool. Like he has a new, woman in his life and we're cool. Like her and I are cool, so I don't really have those issues. And any ex I had before that, like they're one of my frat brothers. So based on that relationship alone, we're still friends after the relationship. And so sometimes those paths cross just because I'm still friends with them. But I don't need to just be meeting your ex just to meet your ex. Like I could care less.
Okay. What about you, Marcy? What you think? How was it? What was you like, this is dumb, I don't want to do this? Or were you like, okay, let's see what you got to say?
I thought it was dumb, but I still understood that I was on TV and it was for entertainment and how telling it was going to be in the real time as far as the process. So even though I thought it was dumb, I had to submit to it because had I not brought an ex, it would have been very telling and questionable, like, where your dude? And then I just had to do it, but it was good too. So for them to see the caliber of men I like to date.
And for context, there was a castmate who did not produce an ex. We will not discuss it at the adult table because it was not adult behavior.
To sum it up, I think in the process on TV, for television, for entertainment, I got it. But in real life, if you have children, that's the only reason. And that's not your ex. That's literally like your extended family because it's the father or mother of your kid that's constantly involved in your life. So that they need to meet eventually at some point.
Yes.
But that's the only time. But not an ex trying to help you decide.
Not trying to help you decide.
That was the nature of the
show. I think the purpose of it on the show was because we were getting assignments. So, you do the assignments.
But they produced it to make it look like your ex is supposed to be trying to tell you what you need. Like,
because they know, because they dated you.
Yeah, but
if they knew, they wouldn't be an ex.
Yeah, and you change when you start dating new people. So
because then you like, oh, I don't like that no more.
You might as a mistake, like know what, I don't want to date no one like that no more, no one with those characteristics anymore. And it makes you change. So you don't like what you used to like or you used to like in them.
Exactly.
What did you think about Marcy before I asked Tip what she thinks about next meeting X? The boys didn't have to bring exes.
Man, that would have been the show. What happened? Because I had I was locked and loaded. The real show. Like, bring the ladies in.
I said,
The ladies will, roll up their sleeves. The guys, guys don't really. But bring the ladies in. Bring the baby mamas. Screw the ladies. Bring the baby mamas.
Bring the baby mamas on.
I want to know what the baby mama gonna tell me, because she might be like, girl. She might show that she still want the father of her kid. I might need to.
She might be like, "Bruh, this child support behind.
He ain't seen his baby. I don't know why he wasn't on here.
I don't know what's going on."
Wow.
What you think, Tip? Can you really take the baby mamas? Can you do that?
I would prefer, like, if I know it's gonna be something serious, then I would prefer to meet the baby mamas. But if we're just dating and trying to see, then I don't really feel like I have to right then and there. I don't know. I prefer not, but if it's gonna be serious, obviously I have to
At some point.
What do you do? And if you meet, and let's say you meet baby mama or ex, whatever, and she's like, "Girl, let me tell you, he don't do the laundry, he don't cook, he do this, he do that." Like, are you really taking her serious? Or are you like, "Okay, girl"?
No, because you're doing it for me.
That's his representative.
I don't know that man. I don't know who you talking about.
Right. I don't know who you talking about. I'm doing that for me. So what you're saying, I don't know. I don't know what happened with y'all.
Wow.
He's doing what I like.
Listen, when I tell you what the hell you just said is a word. I mean, okay, look.
Oh man.
I think in relationships, every man treats and not even men. Or everybody. You treat everybody a different, So you get the person you gonna cook for, you get the person you gonna cake, you get the person you not gonna do that. You know who you can play with, who you can't play with, like.
Right.
So Tip, are you gonna let an ex meet your next? Because I know your baby's 18, so you got a baby.
What's so crazy is that me and I have a couple exes that we're really good friends. Like, but the thing is, it's hard for me. And I've done it where I introduce them, or I'll be around an ex with the guy I'm dating and don't even care the guy I'm dating is mad. And I'm like, what? That's my brother. That's my cousin.
That's my brother.
Like, I've done it like that because but I can see where it causes craziness, because I probably won't have any sexual, I'm not getting back with them. But they might look at me like, damn, she's a changed woman. Look what she's doing for that guy. I know what she's capable of. And they still have those type of thoughts. But I'm not going to lie. I do it all the time and feel like, but they can't do that to me. Like, I'm not going to be friends or cool with one of your ex is not about to be around and y'all keep me. But I do it all the time. But I'm really cool with a lot of my exes.
Maybe the show people knew that, and they were like, women cannot handle that, so we not gonna have.
It's going through my mind. I don't like. Especially if she looks good, she got a lot going on for herself. She got a whole lot of personality. I'm like, you like her. You like her. No.
You want the ex to be raggedy. You like bring your raggedy ex.
Wow.
I like her. So no.
Yeah, but what is she all that but she crazy? Or what is she all that and she ain't clean? Or what is she all that and she
crazy? You just get a $30 million lawsuit to get rid of her. Ain't that what happened?
She's dangerous.
Wow.
she was crazy or something, then they wouldn't be friends. So then we shouldn't be meeting anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We've talked about this before, Timothy. The friends, you know, and even your actual friends being friends with your significant other and stuff. I just feel like it could get dicey.
It can, but I really think it's just about establishing proper boundaries and setting the right expectations. And I think it's about clear communication. So, like, when my wife and I got serious, you know, like I mentioned before, I have a lot of women who are close friends of mine. And so one of the things that was important to me was that my women friends were friends with my wife, and that they understood that, you know, like, this is my wife. And like, and similarly on the converse, you know, my wife has a few men friends, and it's just like, you know, this is my husband, or this is my wife, and understanding that. And one of the ways I presented it to her was like, we have to be the ones to close the door on our end. So the women in my life have to know that there's not a possibility that you can come in sideways to get in between me and my wife. I have to let them know that, either directly or indirectly. And that's one of the ways you can keep healthy boundaries. And so, like I said, like we mentioned before, so I have several women friends who are like family. Like, my children call them auntie and things like that. They're around all the time. We talk regularly, and even independent of like my wife being present. But my wife doesn't have any apprehensions about it, because she knows that she can trust me with them and them with me.
It's all about trust.
Mm-hmm. Tip, I would really like to hear, because now I feel like people are not mad, but saying like, why would you know, these gorgeous women go on a dating show? They live in Miami. Can you please tell these people like what it is like on the ground out here?
What is like on the ground? Like, it's a war zone.
Nothing out here. I feel like I need to leave to go find my significant other, because I haven't found the right one yet, and the options are very, 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 very slim. Like Miami, but see, that's people thinking that we in Miami, we should be able to find. Miami is where all craziness happens. Like nobody has them. A lot of people don't have their mind on straight. It's out of Miami.
You gotta watch yourself.
I need to go to like find an African prince or something, like, because Miami is not where that.
When I told you I missed my damn trip, I was supposed to go home.
Mercy want to go to Africa. Listen, it's crazy. And if you're busy, even a little bit, which I'm very, then forget it. Forget it. Like, it's like, oh, okay, let's do dinner on Monday. Oh, sorry, gotta go to DC. Like, like I can barely keep up with my friends. So dating is crazy, and I won't go on apps. I don't know. I can't do it. Like, my inner prosecutor is like, no, don't do it. So you know,
not out time yet.
Huh?
It's just not out time yet.
It's
He's coming though.
I think it's weird when people.
Andre really trying it.
I think it's weird when people put women do it to women. I don't really hear men do it, but they place value on you based on you being single or married. Like, oh, that's why you single. Like, but she's still single. Like, something's wrong with her. And it's like people find true love at 60, 70.
Right.
Tina knows. Beyonce mother says she's experienced a love she never experienced in her life, and she was married for how many years? 30-something years before now. So it's like you can't place, and I see women do it mainly to other women, place value on women based on their status and being single, especially in a place like Miami.
Yeah.
Like, but being single is for the strong, not the weak. Like, that means you're, especially if you're an attractive woman. Like, women can date and be with anybody. Men have to choose. Men have to have permission. We literally could step outside and be like, hey, I'll date you, you know? It's true. I said all the time, men sleep with who they are allowed to, and women just choose. Okay. You know, so I think that being single is actually for the strong, not the weak. Like,
it's when you know your value. when you know what you have to offer and stuff like that. Like for me right now, I know my value. So I'm around all type of handsome men, rich men, successful men, and stuff like that. And it'll be easy for me to pick and choose some, but I just prefer not to, because I know what some of them come with, and knowing my value, like, it helps that.
Yeah.
What do they come with? Let's talk about that. Let's unpack that.
As for me, like being in the entertainment industry, so I'm around actors and rappers and influencers and stuff like that. That because I see that just drama. Like, nobody's ready to be faithful. Nobody has any real purpose in life. You know what I'm saying? Like
she said no one has any real purpose in life.
Everybody wants to be with the hottest girl with the most followers. The girls want to be with the guys with the most diamonds and stuff like that. But it's not about, like, you know, what you stand for, your morals, how you were raised and stuff like that. So for me in the entertainment industry, like I feel like my mindset is different than most. So I just can't settle with a guy just because he's a ball player. Because I don't need anybody's money. You know what I'm saying? So I can't deal with a rapper just because he has a bunch of followers, because I don't need the clout. So for coming from the entertainment industry, it's really different. And I feel like for any woman, though, when you know your value, you're not just going to settle for anybody, because you can be married and it'll be like, oh, yeah, she's married. But you married just because to a guy just because you want to say you're married. But this man is treating you like shit. You know, I don't know if I could. Sorry. But, you know, so
It's fine.
It's just knowing your value, knowing your worth, and knowing what you could bring to the table. If you gotta be like, I wake up happy I'm happy with myself. I'm happy. And I know when I do find the guy that I choose, he's going to appreciate and value me the same way that I value myself, because I'm a great person. So
I was gonna say, when you find him, I would like to meet him, because I know he's gonna have to be extraordinary.
right.
I know it. So what do you think, Marcy? Do you feel like I made the joke when they were interviewing me for the show? I was like, honestly, if OWN can scourge this earth with their resources and find somebody, because I feel like there's nothing out here but hookah and heartbreak. Like that was my little running joke. How was the grounds for you? But you know what I'm talking about. Everybody's on hookah. Am I lying?
It's bad. How was the dating? How was it?
Anthony Martin said trash.
Trash. How was dating before the show?
Yeah.
On the show. Oh, man, it's scarce. It's unbelievable. Like, I mean, even just to have fun is hard. Like, to just like someone is hard. Like, to find someone like-minded, it's such a mismatch. Just to have fun, and that's crazy. Like, yet alone somebody you could build with. I mean, I don't have children. I'm petrified. Like, I tell people all the time, like, I don't trust my womb with these people. These people are crazy. I don't know who raised them, and I don't like the families they come from and what they stand for. I don't want that in my kids. Like, it's a lot. And I'm not perfect. I lead with my flaws. I mean, you know that. Like, I show up and I tell you, hey, this is what I'm working on. If you need to let me know something, I can pull back. So I'm not perfect either, but dating it's exhausting. I don't know what we went wrong. I don't know if it's the music.
It's so
internet. We went wrong somewhere. It's like
a podcast.
Huh?
It's the podcast.
Oh God, the podcast.
I feel like I blame hookah podcasts with people who should not have a platform.
Oh my goodness, yes.
And Instagram therapist memes.
Yeah.
They hate women.
They have ruined the community. That is the pee in the water. Because I feel like memes be coming up, toxic ass stuff like, oh, if I see my ex, or if I see when I meet my man, if he got a girl, that's okay. I be like, what? What does this mean? What does this mean? We're not doing this. No, not because it's a meme. And we stop sub-posting and all that stuff. Don't do that. If you mad at somebody, call them on the phone and be like, dog, you don't piss me off. You know,
communicate.
No subs. Grown people big, my age, I'm 40.
Yeah.
Posting subs to their man on their IG page. That's how you know, like, stuff going on when they start posting like sad music
And then
and
it's like
movies about thoughtfulness. I'm like, why are you communicating with each other in this
on
way?
the internet. It's weird.
Yeah.
And then it's like who could not care the most? It's like a whole era of I don't give a shit. I don't have feelings. Like F this person. Like it's just a competition. A bunch of empty-hearted, no love.
Yeah.
The people are crazy, girl. They done got far away from God and closer to the internet. It is strange out here.
Hey, Pete, what state are you in? Because I know you're from LA. You're LA native.
I'm in California.
Okay. So how is it on the ground in LA? Just wondering if it's different because you want a different codes. Like,
I don't think so. So obviously, like I'm in law school and, you know,
You're not
doing my
dating.
thing on social media. So I really don't have the time to date, and the pickings are slim publicly here because, so one thing about like the West Coast, I would say, Black men don't really date Black women out here that much. Like you see a lot of interracial relationships over here. So like that's one thing. And so, I mean, I hear from my friends that like the dating pool is like just as trash. It got COVID in it, you know what I'm saying? And I just be telling my mama, like, somebody lied, like these is not the ribs God pulled me from. But
Wow.
It's so bad.
But again, I haven't actively been out there because I've just like I graduated 2 months. I've been so focused on like the grind.
Oh,
and
congratulations.
time. Thank you. I don't have the time to like get my feelings hurt because I don't emote well. So I just figure like let me just stay away from that energy until I'm done. But from like what my friends say, like it don't matter the race, the tax bracket, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just human beings are different these days. And again, like I go to the point, like what you said, it's these memes, it's the podcast, like people don't think for themselves anymore. And I feel like the internet has opened the gateway where the next best thing is only a swipe away, right?
Yeah.
But you really don't know what you're getting with that. And so I feel like a lot of people don't date with intention. They just date because they horny and they don't want to be by themselves. But I feel like if you really date with intention and you go after the people like intentionally that you want to be with, it wouldn't be all this like confusion in the world. But we have access to too many people now. Like back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Like you had access to whoever you went to school with, you went to work with, who lived in your neighborhood, right? Like nowadays when you go to the grocery store, people don't even look up no more. So you could have walked by your soulmate 50,000 times because you too busy scrolling on the internet, looking at your phone. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like all of those factors together has made it like really difficult to just like date, period. No matter where you live. Shoot, I hear on the internet people in Dubai mad too.
What they doing in Dubai?
I don't know. I made that up.
But on
Timothy's like, okay, let me step in here, guys. There's hope.
No, well, I will say there is hope, but the other thing I will say though is conversations like this do make me genuinely sad because they're a reflection not just of you all's experiences, but I have an array of different single Black women friends who have had very similar anecdotes that they've shared. And some of my married friends and I, like we've all had this conversation, just in that it's difficult for a Black woman to find a suitable partner right now, and I don't think men are being honest about that fully, and that there are too few men who are just not proving themselves to be worthy to be a partner. But that's one. But there's an article written about 15 years ago said that marriage is for white people, and it was talking about the decline in Black women getting married. And basically, like, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but functionally what the author was saying was something along the lines of, if there are 100 Black people who are of marrying age in America, it's not a 50-50 split between men and women. So there are already more women than men. So it's like maybe 55-45, just to like make the numbers clean. So there's already 10 women who may not find a partner within their race. And then when you pull out men who are incarcerated or may die prematurely, even at the hands of state violence, or may not be sexually attracted to women, or may have a partner, the pool drops precipitously. And then as we get women like you all who become educated and successful professionally, it's difficult to find a peer because fewer Black men are on pace with you as you begin to ascend up the corporate ladder. And then just like AB said, so many of them now are beginning to stay away from dating with intentionality because they have too many options. Because by the time they enter into their pool with their peers, they may be one of a few men with exponentially larger pool of women. And then the internet opens up their access to other people too. And so by the time many of these men begin to settle down or figure out that they need to be responsible and intentional and committed, many of them have missed opportunities to be a good partner. And so it's difficult because, like I said, I probably have about 15 women friends who are like, wow. The only thing missing is the Mister, to kind of like flip the J line or whatever. But like, they have everything else going. And I don't really have a lot of men friends that I could even recommend to them because like any man that I would recommend to a woman is married. And like most of my single friends, I'm like, there's a reason, it's like, it's like he's not on your level. And it's unfortunate. And so like I said, conversations like this make me legitimately sad because I think just in a lot of ways, the men in our society are failing in this category. And a lot of it gets spun into like dribble on podcasts with people not knowing what they're talking about, or like Sue-Ann said, like memes on social media, or just like clown behavior and stuff like that. So, there are some people out there, and I pray all of you all find the one that's for you.
Hope alive.
We is not getting out on a low note, okay? Like honestly,
Sue-Ann, what I will say is this though.
I think that anything is possible for anyone, even in Miami.
So, but that's
even in Miami. And what I will say is like, I didn't mean to cut you off, Sue-Ann. I'm sorry.
So I was just gonna say, I feel like an important thing is when you do find a person or you are in your initial stages that you really tap in with the person and yourself, which sometimes I feel like people don't do that because of what Marcy was saying. People are dating today or dating because they believe all these crazy statistics and they're like, oh my God, I gotta get somebody. I got somebody. Okay, let me see how it goes. And so they do begin to like settle in their mind, or they do begin to accept certain things, or because they're like, I just got to get somebody because of those crazy numbers and statistics and all the weird memes on Instagram, as opposed to just being like, you know what, let me see if I really like this person. If I don't, then, I'll keep it pushing. Like there's, they're like buses. People get mad at me and they didn't show it on the show, but I was saying in the initial mixer, I was like, I'm a dynamic dater. I'm very busy, but if I am dating, I'm going to date more than one person to kind of see like who I like. So the only difference for me on the show is dating multiple people is that I had to talk to the women that they were also dating and hear them tell me whatever their interaction was with the person, which wouldn't happen in real life. But I think, you have to, it's a numbers game to a certain extent. And, the more you kind of go, you get to decide like what you like and what you don't like, what you're going to, deal with and what you're not.
Can I add this to what Timothy was saying when he was dropping all those horrible numbers on us about between us, y'all, I'm just talking to y'all, but even if this is not politically correct, this is how I feel. Because I know that, and to your point, Timothy, because I have friends that I think are absolutely phenomenal and single, I take it personal when I see qualified Black men say women that don't look like me. I take it personal. I'm sorry. I mean, if you know your history, if you know what Black women are out here doing, go to a college graduation and look at the graduate. and how Black women have just got it out the mud in every industry, on every level. Like, and y'all just be going out here doing crazy stuff with and saving people that don't look like me. It bothers me.
Don't say y'all, because Timothy is understood the assignment.
For the people that might be listening, me personally, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. Love is love, but I take it personal as an insult because I'm sitting here on a panel with beautiful Black women. Yeah. I know, like you said, 15 of them. I know another 15 that's done the work, that's out here getting things out the mud, taking care of their kids, like octopus, and y'all just be out here.
So, Marcy, to your point, I'll say a couple of things. Like, one, you're right. Love is love, and sometimes love makes strange partnerships. But you're right. The way we have been socialized as Black men, too many of us are more willing to step outside of our race. And like you said, not necessarily look for a peer, but just want someone just because she's white. The whiteness makes her a trophy. And too many men have not understood that's what they're chasing after and wanting the value that comes with saying, I can have something I've been historically told I can't have. Yeah. And we leave our women by the wayside when we do that. I mean, still statistically speaking, Black people are more likely to date within their race than other groups, but still Black men are much more likely to date outside of the race. Black women are the most loyal to their racial group than I think any other people group in the country. Just kind of what you were saying earlier, Marcy, just the loyalty is there. And it's not always reciprocated in the way that it should. And again, I'm not saying there can never be interracial relationships or whatever.
No, me either.
I know you're not saying that at all, but it's really about, like, I've seen it too. And I've called out men that I've seen. I'm like, this right here this is not what you are making it out to be, to be polite. And so, like you said, Marcy, I mean, it's just like, I wouldn't call her an octopus, but it's just kind of like, this is not your peer. And you have peers. And the thing that always shocks me about that, especially like kind of AB's point when she was saying that there's some Black men in LA who don't date Black women. I'm like, your first conception of womanhood was a Black woman. I don't understand how you can look at a Black woman
how they visualize it.
Like, and not be drawn to that. I don't like that. Baffles me. I have never.
Are gonna meet people in walks of lives that bring them together that they don't look. I think it's beautiful because love is love. I just think that when you see a trend, and when I'm in a space and I feel uncomfortable because I like, you know what I mean. That's when I start taking stuff kind of personal because it's like, wait a minute, like.
I don't take it personal only because I feel like if everybody can like what they like. Like, if some people want to date short men, they can date short men. Some people want to date men that are equipped a certain way, and some people say it doesn't matter about size. So some people want to deal with palm color, and some people don't. So I don't ever be like, oh, woo-de woo woo. I think honestly, it's somebody for everybody. I just think that it takes on a different meaning because for Black women, we are fed a narrative that there's some scarcity going on, and I don't see it. I haven't experienced it in the sense that, I see single men, whether or not they're appropriate, like what Timothy was saying, to date me or to date us, is the other question. Like, is there going to be a level of intellectual dishonesty you're going to have? Is there going to be a compromise you're going to have to make? Are you going to have to be like, okay, he's not 6'4", he's only 5'11", I'll take that. I think people have to burn their list to a certain extent, which I definitely did on the show. You got to burn the list and, focus on inside qualities, like what Miami Tip was saying, not necessarily outside qualities in Miami. You have to really be like, how you gonna treat me? And how are you treating me? And what is you really about? As opposed to, oh, this person has this or they're around these people or whatever, because it could be cap. It could be. That's facts. So I agree. So I can't tell you guys how much I appreciate this adult table because it was such a hard week and last week and then going into this week. So I really be using y'all, to be honest, and everyone who tapped in to kind of just like, whew, okay, you know, we still here, we still cool, you know, because fighting oppression gets a little heavy at times. It gets a little crazy. So I appreciate you guys for coming on, for talking, for being the beautiful adults that you are. I will start with Tip on the bottom, because I always have to ask this before we leave and before we do the adult table prayer. What is the definition of Black love for you?
You know what? Come back to me on that.
Come back. Okay.
I never thought about that.
Okay.
That's really
Okay.
good.
Okay. Okay. We'll make Timothy go first because we can always just piggyback off of him.
Okay, I'm gonna try to see.
That's right, Timothy. That's right. And then make sure you tell us where to find you too.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to try to say something different, but I think Black love is the ability for two Black people to share a bond together that can weather all odds. There's so many things in our society that try to destroy and snuff out Black life. And to say that regardless of what's happening outside of our home, we will still find a way to support and to amplify each other. And for me, that's one of the ways that love manifests itself, particularly among Black people. I love to say that part of the reason I'm here, part of the reason you're here is because Black people loved each other. And especially when you think about all the things that have tried to rob us of our humanity, I think that's a beautiful thing. And it's something to be cherished and sought after. So you said tell people where they can find me. I have a website, timothywelbeck.com, 1L. And I'm on Instagram. It's at Timothy Welbeck. I'm on Twitter for as long as it'll stay around, at Timothy Welbeck. I'm on Facebook. It's Timothy Welbeck as well, but I don't ever check that. So, like, if you do try to reach me there, I apologize.
We're bridge millennials. We don't check Facebook anymore.
I don't check Facebook anymore. So, like, I love you. I'm sorry, but like, I don't check that inbox at all. So, if you sent me something there, I'm not ignoring you. I just don't check that thing.
Okay. I know you have new music out. Okay. Yes. So I'm not going to let you be on here trying to just only play husband, dad. Sir Timothy, we know you're a rapper. You have bars, and we know this.
Okay. So thank you, Sue-Ann, because I don't talk about that. And I'm really bad at like talking about myself. But I just put out an album. It's called Train of Thought. It's a live recorded hip hop album. I recorded it last May at a venue in Philadelphia. I assembled a 5-piece jazz band, and we fused John Coltrane's music with mine. It's a total of 9 songs, start to finish. And it was a labor of love. I love the album. It was an incredible time performing it. It was something my wife encouraged me to do years ago, and I finally got around to doing it last year. I put it out on February 15th of this year because the album in a lot of ways is an ode to Philadelphia. And so 215 or 215 is Philadelphia's main area code. And then the album's also a tribute to John Coltrane. He and I both lived in Philadelphia for 15 years. So that's also 215.
The metaphors in the metaphors. He ain't even rap yet, y'all. He ain't even rap yet. Okay.
Yeah. So it's anywhere you can stream music. It's Train of Thought. Just look up Timothy Welbeck, and my most recent release before that was Grow Old, and it was me and a few other friends just talking about we want Black men to grow old, and so those are the most recent things that I put out.
Thank you, Timothy. And I remembered your old rap name the other day, but I'm not gonna put it out. Whenever you're ready, whatever episode.
I appreciate you not putting out that old rap name.
I'm not. We on episode number 5. If we get to 12 and you still don't want to say it, this is a safe space.
All right. I will remember that.
I love and appreciate you very much. Thank you.
Likewise.
Hey, love and appreciate. I am legally hype. Lawyer in training.
I know. I'm this close, y'all. I'm this close.
She there. She there.
Awesome.
She got
I'm
it.
ready to drop out every night.
Every night. Now, hold on.
Every night I am ready to drop out. I'm like, I could just leave right now.
So let's talk about projects you have going on. And don't think I forgot, you have to tell us your definition of Black love as well. But let's talk about it.
Yeah. So we are just trying to expand the brand. I am Legally Hype. I am on YouTube. I think we're kind of transitioning more to YouTube because we don't know what's going to happen with TikTok. And I still got to get my money. So you can find me on YouTube. I am Legally Hype. I'm also on Instagram, but it's I am Legally Hype 3 because Instagram played too much and I can't get into my main page right now. So you can follow my backup page. I know it's terrible. It's like I work so hard to like build that page and we got to start over, but it's the nature of the beast. So right now, honestly, I am focused on graduating from law school in May. And taking the bar in July, so pray for your girl because I'm only taking it one time, regardless of what the results say. We're only taking it one time, so it's gonna be what it's gonna be.
I'll pass.
But yeah, I guess in terms of my definition of Black love, I just feel like it's like a fluid, kind of unspoken loyalty and like bond that you have, right? Because there's so much that we experience as Black people that we really don't get to express, or like growing up, we were taught was taboo, right? But even with not vocalizing our experiences or what we're feeling, we go through, we seem to connect just through the blood of being a Black person and just understanding like, Black experience, right? So I think that with Black love, whether it is you're in a relationship or it's your friendship or it's your family, I think that it all is just cohesive and that understanding and that bond, and it's unbreakable. That the reason why you could walk into an office and see a Black girl and be like, oh girl, I see you, right? Never met her before, but that connection is there because you know what that experience is like and what it feels like. And so, I would just say like that's my definition.
Thank you, AB. Super appreciate you. And I know Miami Tip feels you on the IG situation because it's been many a time, because that's how I check on my friends. And I'd be like, where's Sue? Where's she? So she'd be like, my page. They done took my page.
And it's like nobody knows that Instagram.
And the page I have now is like my third or fourth page.
It's wild out here.
Yeah.
But tell us where to find UTIP, where to buy the book, which I already have. I don't have it in the office. It's at home, girl. Sometimes stories like.
Well, everything for me, and I am like a social media fanatic. Like I'm a content creator. I'm on every platform. The only platform I'm not on is Snapchat. But everything else, I'm on every day, all day, and everything is Miami Tip 305.
We need you to watch the show that we're on. And
no, I was just saying that. I was like, this show sounds interesting. I'm gonna catch up on it. I really am.
Okay, good. What's your definition of Black love? Catch up on the show and please don't tag me. Talk to me first. Let me see if I want to be tagged.
Crazy. She's okay. My definition of Black love is, it's so funny because I was going to say everything to me and I'm Legally Hype said.
That part. That's fine. Listen, when you get to the adult table after you through with dessert, we having espressos now. We bill paid. We didn't argue over it because we grown. Somebody paid. It's fine. It's all good.
Right.
Mercy, do you have one? I know you've been on before, so you said yours before, but
yeah, I've said it before. Black love is similar to what you guys said. It's living in this world as a Black person. It's hard to explain, but it's some adversities, it's some hardships, it's an uphill battle, and only a person that gets it, which is another Black person, and finding love in that and bonding and coming home from dealing with the world and being able to just look at each other and be like, this is a safe place. That's Black love. Existed in a world that not always gives you your flowers or, treat you as even a human being, but finding another person that understands that and you could grow with and build with and, you know, take over the world with. I think that's Black love. I said it before. I hope I don't sound like a broken record, but yeah.
No, I have everybody say it, even if you've been on before, because I feel like we're affirming it, we're reaffirming it. So I'm with it. I'm being very intentional with having you repeat it as much as possible. So I appreciate you all. I appreciate everybody who tapped in. Don't forget to subscribe, share with your friends. Come back. I want everybody that's here tonight to come back on a different night. Again, adult table. I won't say it's like my therapy because I have actual therapy, but it is a tool. And I appreciate you guys very, very much for joining me. And I wish you all the amazing things for the rest of the week and next week until I see you again. Okay, guys?
Good night, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Always a pleasure.
I'm there. Let's go.